Your body is just a shell, neither good nor bad. Who you are is entirely up to you. Aloha international friends, this is Brendan and you're about to watch my video about the 5 esoteric reasons as to why I love Alita Battle Angel. For those of you who have seen my conscious movie reviews in the past, you know that this is about looking at some of the conscious and esoteric themes of movies that help awaken us, the viewer, to more of our awareness as multidimensional beings and humans on this beautiful infinite journey we call life. Of course, going into this, there will be some spoilers, so please feel free to go check out the movie first, but honestly, you could watch this video and maybe it'll just help you appreciate it even more when you go see it the first time, so whatever works for you is totally cool with me. Now, honestly, part of the reason why I wanted to be able to make this video is just to be able to share my own love for this film. I know people are kind of like on the fence about it, so maybe me making this video will just help more people be able to appreciate it on a deeper level. Alita Battle Angel, directed by Robert Rodriguez, produced by James Cameron, is a beautiful blockbuster sci-fi action about a cyborg girl who is remembering who she is. She is a cyborg who falls from the sky city of Zolom. She is found by Dr. Ito, a cyborg doctor who repairs her and puts her inside of a new cyborg body that was once made for his now deceased daughter. Given the sovereignty of her new body, she sets off on a journey to be able to find her place within this futuristic world, making new friends, finding new enemies, remembering her past, and learning more about her deeper purpose. Eventually, she runs into conflict where she is called into action and activates the warrior within herself. So getting right into this, number 1, this is a movie about consciousness awakening to itself. This movie can be seen from a very symbolic way. If you look at the story, this is literally about an angel falling from heaven, Zolom in this case, the Sky City. And so in the same way that Alita has amnesia, we as humans here on this earth plane can be thought of as having a similar journey. We as humans literally have divine amnesia as we have come down from the higher dimensional planes, 5th dimension, whatever you want to call it. Her and you and myself share a very common story. And again, the big part of this is about knowing thyself, noscite ipsum, setting off on a journey and being able to see how you show up, how your heart responds, what do you stand for, what do you love. Essentially, Alita's journey is about her ascension back to Zolom, where she seeks to learn more about who she is, which in many ways can be compared to our own ascension process of remembrance. So what we are looking at here, if you think about it, yeah, this is the brain of Alita, but what is literally said within this movie that it's more so than that. This is actually about the soul. And so this is the journey of what does a soul experience when it comes into this physical incarnation. And as we observe her journey, it's really, really beautiful because since she is given this clean slate, we see this purity come through her. She eats fruit for the first time and she appreciates it for what it is. She meets new friends and almost instantly falls in love and connects with that deeper heart.
Does it bother you that I'm not completely human?
You are the most human person I have ever met.
And we see what the soul is naturally gravitated towards, and is gravitated towards appreciation, is gravitated towards love, is gravitated towards compassion. And yet, understandably, even in the face of conflict, in the face of evil, it will still stand for all of these virtues. Through this process, she remembers, she awakens, she discovers more of who she is. These little things can be seen as stark reminders for what the soul experiences when it comes into this reality. Number 2, rise of the divine feminine archetype. Now, of course, this is probably an obvious one, but it is worth mentioning because a few years ago, this was not totally a common thing that we were seeing in a lot of mainstream films, and now we're seeing a lot more of it, and this is something that is incredibly important and definitely in sync with the bigger shift in consciousness that is happening right now here on the planet. The rise of the divine feminine is not just about being gentle and patient and forgiving and loving, but it is also about stepping into the strength and the warrior and the guardian with all of those previous virtues, the deep love, the deep strength, the deep commitment. So you see this in Alita, and again, I think this is very beautiful because honestly, like if I was a young girl looking at this movie, like I would be inspired. I'm an adult male, and I'm still equally as inspired by this movie. So this aspect in itself is one of the reasons why I love this movie, because again, not only is her character an absolute badass, but she is also relatable and admirable. And so we see that within Alita. We see this balance between compassion and strength. And that in itself is a very, very beautiful thing that, again, I think as more people are becoming aware of this new type of story, they themselves are awakening that within themselves. So for all of you out there who are awakening into their own archetypes as divine feminine and guardians, thank you. And thank you for being able to appreciate it within this film as well. Number 3, this movie challenges us to question our own morality. One of the big things that we see throughout this movie is that things are not always black and white, is that good people sometimes have to do bad things in order to be able to help those who they love. And this is again what we see through the character of Doc Ito, we see this through Hugo, and in some ways we also see this through Alita. She wouldn't want to have to fight, but in the face of conflict, she is stepping into that. She has the courage to be able to do so, yet that in itself does not make her a bad person. And so in the same with Doc Ito and Hugo, they do bad things, but that doesn't necessarily make them bad people. We live in a complicated world, and it's easy for people to be able to get corrupted. And so in the same way we see this through the characters in the movie, we can see this within ourselves. Where are gray aspects to ourselves? And yet, how can that actually help us be even more beautiful? How can that actually help us even understand more of what our bigger story is? And so the fact of the matter is that the truth itself is in the gray. We will do things in our life that we may not be entirely proud about, but that does not define us. Who we choose to be beyond those moments is what's really important. Dr. Ito himself says that the body that she has is neither good nor bad, it is neutral. And much like ourselves, what we are given within this life is neutral, but what we choose to do with it determines who we become. Number 4, this movie is empowering us to rise as guardians. Now, kind of similar to the previous one about the divine feminine, I just want to go a little bit deeper here because there's something really important. There's a beautiful quote that says that the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men and women to do nothing. This movie really reflects on that. You see Alita in this position where, again, she is not looking for conflict, but inevitably she finds herself drawn to it in order to be able to help bring about balance, in order to be able to acknowledge when there is injustice, when there is tyranny, and how she herself can make a difference. And that sometimes it comes with literally meeting it with her fist, but at the other time it is also the truth behind her heart that she carries with her into battle, knowing that that in itself is guiding her. And so in that sense, I really invite us to be able to reflect on what are the things we stand for, what are the things we are guardians for. You know, you can kind of think about this idea that you might just kind of like walk down a street and maybe you'll see like someone just getting picked on, or you'll see a homeless person or things like that, and how easy is it for us to just kind of like walk by and mind our own business. And we've kind of been conditioned into doing this. But what happens when we expand our bubble? What happens when we begin to see the bigger story that is happening all around us, and we begin to answer the call of what we can do as guardians? And of course, this does not mean always jumping into battle, but it does mean standing up for the things that you believe in, standing up in the face of injustice, being able to essentially choose to be the change that you wish to see in this world. And that is exactly what Alita is doing. She herself is on a quest of this self-discovery, and along the way, she sees the injustices and she begins to find herself by feeling and understanding the difference that she can make in the face of them. And so as a guardian, one of the coolest things is that Alita's battle style is all about uniting the senses. And so essentially when she is in combat, she is in a flow or a zen or a gamma-like state, which is something we ourselves can explore on our own paths of self-mastery. I love the simple message that one person can make a difference in this world, and the idea that our spark can ignite the flames of a million more candles. And so in that same way, let us reflect on what can we do to be able to help be the change that we wish to see. And number 5, love is what we need. This is kind of getting later into the end of the film, but it does really hit home with this basic message that Hugo, again, the boy who Alita has fallen deeply in love with, he himself is striving after an ideal. He himself is reaching up for the skies of Zalem in order to be able to escape the grips of Iron City. And yet, Alita tells him that what he really wants isn't up there, but it's between them. It's the love that they can share, that they themselves do not necessarily have to escape the turmoils of the world, but rather they can cultivate the peace and the love within themselves wherever they are. And this moment in the film, you can see the impact that it has on Hugo and the change that it makes within his heart. So this lesson in itself is very important, and one that can really be taken home and reflect on how we too can help change the world. Because the fact is, we do not have to escape this world. We simply have to return to the home of our heart. It's a beautiful message when you think about the idea that Alita herself was willing to put aside her quest in order just to be with the person she loves. Because the truth is, what we really seek, what we really want, is not this materialistic ideal. It's not just to escape, but it's love, it's companionship, it's meaningful connection. So let us be reminded of the power of love and how that in itself can transform humanity. So there you go. This movie in itself is inviting all of us to kind of step into our own version of being battle angels, these etheric, higher dimensional beings that have incarnated in this three-dimensional form, yet we are here with a higher purpose. We are here to bring balance to the scales. We are here to stand as guardians for what we believe in. And we stand through this through the art that we create, through the free hugs that we share, through the love that we are. So this is a very, very powerful message, and it is much, much deeper than just a sci-fi action flick. It is on the surface, but there is a true message that rings deeply with the heart when you can see it for the esoteric symbolism that it is. So there you go, that's just a little bit about why I really did love Alita Battle Angel, and I encourage you to go check it with that paradigm shift, those new eyes, and kind of see what's underneath the surface here. Obviously James Cameron, he knew what he was doing. He knew that there was kind of like something weaved into this that was actually quite important, and something that we are always needing to be reminded of, this idea of calling us into more of our power as battle angels in a very literal and metaphorical sense. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please leave your thoughts down below. What did you love about this movie? Did you see some of these esoteric symbolisms? Maybe there was some that I missed. Be sure to drop those in the comments down below, and of course be sure to subscribe to my channel at Skull Babylon on YouTube. And if you really enjoy these videos and the conscious media content that I'm creating for the community, please feel free to join as a super supporter and get a 25% discount from items at questitemshop.com. Check the links below, and please feel free to follow me on Instagram at Mystic Spider-Man. Thank you so much for watching this video. I look forward to sharing more with you. Share it with your friends, and yeah, the journey continues through the love and through the courage that we continue to step into. So thanks for watching. Much love. Keep it shifty. I'll see you in the future.
I need you to destroy a girl called Alita.
You made the biggest mistake of your life.
And what's that?
Underestimating who I am.